remember, here we are not talking about the best career options. Here we are talking about where can be the best source of money, finances and livelihood for you.
Please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my latest video has come. And to learn more and to find a video relevant to you, please do check out my videos list.
Hello, namaskar and adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan. Once more with you from your very own channel, Astro Assurance. Today we will be talking about how the placement of the second house lord in different houses in your D10 chart, in your Dashamsa chart, will be able to bring new options of livelihood or where the money will come in your horoscope. Now this is also pertaining to how certain results can come for you basis where money is coming, not related to just career or business, but this will give you options where the money can be coming in spite of where you're working, what your business is, or an additional source or even a money coming in from an investment perspective, where it is coming from. So which throws also light from where the career options can come if you put in an effort, if you put in some focus and attention. So where the money is coming in from, obviously people will want to work in that direction also. So the second house lord's placement, different houses in the Dashamsa, will give you options where the money is coming from. So let's jump in and see what is the best option for livelihood or source of money for each one of the houses placed by virtue of placement of the second house lord, different houses. So here, let's start with the placement of the second house lord in the first house of the D10 chart in the Dashamsa chart. Now, what is the first house on the D10 chart? It is also where money is getting associated with yourself, your self-identity, your stature, your standing in society as well. So, the first house in the D10 chart also signifies where you project yourself, how you project yourself in your professional life can also make money for you. So, this is a strong house where how you stand as a leader, as somebody who's heading, where you have a certain degree of independence, autonomy, will also bring in more money. But this is also about how the money will come in, or the higher source of money will also come in, how you showcase your individuality. Here, your ability to be able to show power and authority and an entrepreneurial spirit and a high degree of independence will also bring in high potential for higher money opportunities as well. So self-identity, stature, dignity, leadership is important here. So what are the best financial prospects for you to be able to make money? This can be through more personal ventures and doing something of your own rather than working under somebody. If you're working for an organization, then the more money will come in where you have the highest designation, highest authority, or you are in the leadership situation where you can take decisions for the organization, for the department as well. So normally, as head of the CEO of the MD of the company can also have a big stake in the organization. Keep this in mind. So this is also good. We are making money through a big stake, but with a leadership option as well, or doing something of your own. So being an entrepreneur, being somebody who is also in politics or in the public life, heading an organization is also key for you. Basis where the money is coming from. Now, where your 10th house lord is placed in your D10 chart, where it is placed will also play a part, and in your D10 chart, the 10th house lord's placement and what kind of relationship it is establishing with your 10th house lord if a D1 chart is also important. So the D10 chart's placement and the D1 chart is also important. Now which planet is associated, or which planet is the second house lord which is getting into the first house is also important. If it's Saturn, then the results will come in slow. If it's Mars, then you have to put in a lot of energy and you also have to give focus and attention towards it to be able to make money. Now when the second house lord gets into the second house in the D10 chart, the money will come in virtue of your accumulated resources or where the investment is high. This can also be where you invest some money in, say for example, you're keeping it on interest in a fixed deposit scheme in the bank also. This could be one way of earning money also, which is safer. Other is family owned businesses also, where you invest money, because the second house is also the house of family. But here, how you communicate, how you talk is also very, very important. So their wealth will be accumulated through professions connected to or communicated to or related to communication, and how you're managing your finances, because the second house is also about your finances. So the more money will coming in, where you're more astute in managing your finances. So for example, not spending in too much money if you're in business, but also working in percentages is important here, rather than going the whole hog. So always being better prepared, keeping some money away for a rainy day if you're doing business is important. So what are the careers, what are the professions which can be related to second house lord's placement in the second house? Yeah, the money options can come in, or the livelihood options can come in through finance, or working in the banking sector, or in wealth management sectors. Somebody who's also connected to the family businesses, but here you are one of the people who are managing the business, or being a part of the business rather than leading the business, which is associated with the first house. So the high financial potential will also come in careers related to financial businesses, financial management, banking sector, or investing money, where you're also lending money to people. So that is another way of making money for you. Agriculture is another way of making money, where the second house lord is placed in the second house. Bakeries also can be another thing, or nutrition based, food based businesses can also be good, especially if Mars is involved in the mix. Then surely that is the one. If Jupiter is involved in the mix, Jupiter is the second house lord going into the second house, then advising people on finances, on money, as a financial wealth management expert can also be here. So overall, this is a placement connected to communication, food, nutrition, speaking, financial management, banking sector as well. Now, when the second house lord is in the third house of the D10 chart. Now, what is the D10 chart's third house represents? The D10 chart's third house represents how you are able to extract or do or get better money or livelihood through your communication, through your self-enterprise, through your courage in a professional context, because the D10 chart, each house of the D10 chart is some connection to your profession, to your career. So how you're talking in your profession, how you're marketing yourself, how you're branding yourself is the third house. So yeah, the better the communication skills you have, the better networking skills you have, this is better. However, this could also mean some short distance travels are also involved in the mix. Now, this is not only about career or profession. This is also about where the money can come in. So don't confuse the third house in the D10 chart only with career or profession. The D10 chart is connected to your career or profession, but specific houses placement. Here we are talking about the second house of money, finances. Going into the third house means the more money can come in through an extra source also, apart from your career, apart from your job, which is connected to the third house. Teaching, marketing. Also, if you are getting it connected to your career, to your job, then communication is the key to how you will make money. You may have a decent job, but if you're not working on your communication, there is not a lot of flexibility in your job, then the money will not come in. So here the second house lord going into the third house is about taking the entrepreneurial spirit, putting in a lot of effort, putting in a lot of focus, working on your communication skills, and working with courage. Courage is the key to making money when the third house lord goes into the second house lord goes into the third house. But which planet is associated with the third house is also important. If Jupiter goes into the third house, then simple advising, consulting, guiding, leading somebody by through your competence is also very important. If it's Sun, then leadership through accountability is also the key when the second house lord goes into the third house in your D10 chart, in your Dashamsa chart. Now, when the second house lord goes into the fourth house in your D10 chart, in your Dashamsa chart, what is the fourth house on the D10 chart? In the D1 chart, it's about home. It's about homely atmosphere. It's about domestic life. But the fourth house in the D10 chart is about comfort, is in the comfort in a certain profession. Comfort is in a particular career. How comfortable you are, how at home you are in your career, in your profession, how at peace you are are in your profession, and whether you will get the peace, whether you will get the comfort, whether you will feel secure in your work or not. So when the second house lord goes into the fourth house, this is about a lot of stability which can also come in your career, but which is also stability in money terms, because the second house is more about money, a livelihood. It's not necessarily connected to your career alone. So your careers or profession or business or a side income which is connected to some investments you have made in real estate, in property management, in education is also likely. Sometimes this can also be connected to you are doing some government projects, government jobs, people who make repair these roads on contract, who take government projects for some thing that you supply on the side. These are all related to the placement of the second house lord in the fourth house. So surely the financial prospects are through real estate, property management, banking, government, long-term investments in land also. Now, which planet is associated by virtue of the being the second house lord and going into the fourth house is important. If your Mars is involved, then surely real estate is the key. If Jupiter is involved, then education is the key. Sun is involved, then surely government projects is the key to make more money. We are not talking about only career, as I said, or profession, but where the money is coming from, where the livelihood can also come in from. Now, when the second house lord goes into the fifth house in your D10 chart, in your Dashamsa chart. Now, what is the fifth house in your Dashamsa chart? This is unlike the fifth house in the D1 chart, where it is about children, romance, what you like to do. Here, the fifth house in the D10 chart is how creative and innovative you can be at work, in your profession, in your business, and how speculative you can be, what kind of risks you can take in your profession, in your business as well. So when the second house lord is going into the fifth house, this also the livelihood or the money is coming from taking slightly more risks and looking for change, because the fifth house is the 8th to the 10th house. So here, how much love and affection you have towards your work, towards your career, not to a person. So how comfortable you are, how much you are in love with your profession, how much you at ease you are in your profession, how much interested you are in your profession is the key. So the money will also come in where the interest is high. When you like to do something, then the money will also come in. So usually careers or profession or even businesses connected to entertainment, arts, creative writing, cinema, investments, speculative investments, even stock market is the key if it's a strong placement. Now, which planet is involved, being the second house lord in the fifth house, is also important. If it's Mercury, surely stock market, business, share, all these are very important. If it's on the other hand Moon, then surely arts, entertainment, cinema, this is involved. If it's Venus, then creative writing, working in business connected to the fairer gender, the opposite gender, whichever your gender is, that becomes involved. So look at how or where the second house lord is placed in the fifth house, connecting it to a certain planet and connecting to its placement of where the D10 charts 10th lord is also associating or forming some relationship through aspects or conjunction or sharing of signs when the second house lord is going into the fifth house. Now, when the second house lord goes into the sixth house in your D10 chart, in your Dashamsa chart. Now, the sixth house in your Dashamsa chart, in your D10 chart, is unlike that sixth house in the D1 chart. The D1 chart, the sixth house is also about overall competition in life, bad health, sitting for competitive exams, loans, debts. The sixth house in the D10 chart is about how much of a service orientation you are getting connected to, specifically connected to your career, specifically connected to your profession, specifically connected to your business, not to general competition. It's not like in school you took part in the race and whether you came first or not. This is not about you are in love with somebody and whether you have to compete with somebody else who also has association or interest with that person to compete for the love and affection. The sixth house in the D10 chart is specifically connected to service, competition, litigations connected to your work, career, profession, and business. So when the second house lord goes into the sixth house, it is showing where the money, the livelihood is coming in, connected to your career, connected to your business, connected to your profession. So when the second house lord goes into the sixth house, it could mean that sometimes the money could also come in where you are also in a partnership through taking some loans and investing in business, or working in a partnership with somebody where you also taking some role in some responsibility as an employee of the organization also, and then the money comes in. If you have just put a stake in some business but you are not doing some service in the business, then the money will be less or will not come in as much as the promise is there, the potential is there. So if the second house lord is going into the sixth house, put in some service, some effort that you're giving in. Even if you're working somewhere else, even if your career is somewhere else, you're investing money in some business, give some time. Go and sit at the place, talk regularly, give some attention to it, give some focus to it so that you continue to make money. Now, which planet is associated by virtue of the second house lord going into the sixth house is important. Yes, Saturn is the key. If it's the second house lord and goes into the sixth house, then the competition will be less. You will be able to overcome competition, but through a lot of stability, a lot of organized effort, and then you make money. If it's Venus, then it will be tougher because sixth house is where Venus gets debilitated in the Kalpurush Kundi. So yeah, that money will come in with a lot of competition, overcoming the competition, and sometimes the opposite gender in your work can be a challenge also. Sometimes the whatever gender you are, if you're a woman, then you will find that you may have you may do better under male bosses, but for men they will not do so well under female bosses. They will also do better under male bosses, and they may have in fact trouble with women. Specifically, I'm talking about men here. So the best livelihood option for you is law, healthcare, defense services, spas, clinic, hospitals, pharma companies, medical profession. All these are the professions where either through work or through business or even at stake or some investment, you will be able to make money. Now, when the second house lord in the D10 chart, in the Dashamsa chart, goes into the seventh house, what is the seventh house of your D10 chart? This is not the seventh house of your D1 chart or your D9 chart, which is more associated with a relationship. Here, the second house lord in the seventh house is more about partnerships, associations. Whether you love the person or not, whether the person is your spouse or wife or girlfriend or not, is immaterial. This is purely about how strong a partnership or at ease you're working with the other person in a team format, as a team member, as a team leader. So here, the money will come in when you have a partnership orientation towards your business, towards your career, or just making money. So this is not about your career. This is not about where you're working, where you're doing a job. You may be doing a job or career in something else, but here, if you're putting in money in some business, then how much are you looking after the needs of the partner as well to be able to make money? So if you have invested money in some business, a friend's business, and you're not giving any time, attention to it, then where is the partnership? You're focusing somewhere else on your career, on your job. Here, you will have to feel as a partner. So when the partner who is maybe giving more time needs your help, needs your effort, needs some support, you will have to sometimes let go or keep your career at bay also and step in so that you make money. So the money will come in, the livelihood will come in, the finances will come in, or your finances will grow better when the second house lord is in the seventh house by virtue of a team approach, helping approach, partnership approach. So the money will obviously come in with business partnerships here rather than working under somebody. So if the second house lord in the D10 chart is in the seventh house, keep an eye on money making options or doing business rather than working under career. If you have a good career and if you feel you're doing good, you're stable, don't quit those careers. But do look at some business on the sideline where you put in some money, being a partner and then making money. Now, which planet goes into the seventh house being the second lord is also important. If it's Venus, then there can be a lot of money having a partner with the opposite gender, maybe even your spouse. If it's Jupiter, then it's a consulting business through which you're making money. If it's Mars, then it could be related to the pharma industry, surgical equipment, manufacturing industry. So you're manufacturing something for people and then making money in a partnership through a business rather than career. Now, when the second house lord goes into the eighth house in your D10 chart, in your Dashamsa chart. Now, remember the eighth house in your D10 chart, in your Dashamsa chart, is not related directly to the 8th house of your D1 chart, which has a different dissemination, which has a different orientation, which has a different character, which has a different meaning. The 8th house in your D1 chart is turmoil, transformation, changes generally in life, which could be due to career, which could be due to health, could be due to inheritance, which could be due to relationship, which could be due to accidents, which could be due to finance, which could be related to fire accidents, earthquakes, anything which the 8th house represents in general. The 8th house in the D10 chart is about a transformation or change or challenge in your business, in your livelihood, especially when the second house lord in your D10 chart goes into the 8th house. Where is the money coming in, connected to your profession, connected to your career, connected to your business. There the money is showing some turmoil, showing some transformation before it either goes down or it grows. So when the second house lord goes into the 8th house in your D10 chart, be rest assured your money will also go through a transformation. Even if your career is stable, it's very smooth going, you will find some year you are making a lot more money, more incentives are coming in, the organization is doing much better. But in some years, when the dasha of the 8th house, the planet which is the ruler of the 8th house or the second house lord's dasha is on, then you will find the transformation will come in. Sometimes you may lose one job or quit your job and go into another similar job in a similar industry, but the money fluctuation will still be high. Sometimes the role may change and the money will not come in. So here this is more about money and finances which are getting connected to the 8th house. This is also money getting connected or coming in because of a transformation or turmoil or emergency in somebody else's life, like through insurance. So you're working for the insurance industry or you're having an insurance company, organization. Then because of somebody else's life's challenges or something, either you have to give money, you have to claim money or help somebody make money, or also draw your own commissions if you're a taxation agent or somebody like that. So this is here surely the point that the zodiac is telling you is your money making option. If your second house is going into the 8th house, transformation will happen, ups and downs will happen. This is also connected to income coming into deep research or fields which are related to research or taxation or insurances, or connected to other people's lives upheavals as well, like emergencies and challenges as well. Now, which planet goes into the 8th house, being the second house, is also important. If it's Mars, then you will have to look at surely ups and downs can be more profitable to you. If it's Jupiter, then consulting people who are going through challenges, problems, upheavals, even connected to the medical profession could be the ones. If it's Moon, then being creative and even drama, arts, business, connected to the performing arts, cinema, the virtual world can also make money for you. Now, when the second house lord in your D10 chart, in your Dashamsa chart, gets into the 9th house. Now, don't mistake or misunderstand the 9th house in your D10 chart as being similar to the 9th house of your D1 chart of your Lagna chart. They are different. The 9th house in your D1 chart is more related to higher learning experience generally in life. It could be that you are gaining higher learning because of some turmoil, some challenge, some problem, and because of which you are more experienced in learning through a challenge. Generally in life, which could be in travel, experience through bad travel, experience through bad education, experience through bad investment, experience through bad relation, and through that you're gaining higher learning, higher wisdom. But here in the D10 chart, the 9th house is about higher education connected to your career, work, or profession. So where are you able to make more money? Through getting higher education, higher wisdom. So the more competence you add, you will make more money. Especially if the second house lord is going into 9th house in your D10 chart, then the more learning you do, the more earning you do. The better experienced you are, the more competent you are, you will make more money, because the second house lord of money, income, finance, livelihood is going into the 9th house of gains, high experience, wisdom oriented decision making also. But it could also mean your profession, your career, your business could also be connected to travel, tourism. I know people who work for a car company or Hertz Rent-A-Car or something like that and make money through that. Some people buy a fleet of cars and invest in like Uber or Ola, whatever. and then they make money. Some people run travel agencies, air ticketing and all, and then through that they also make money. So overall, the second house lord placed in the ninth house gets you connected to a number of intellectual pursuits, international connections, educational institutes, travel, tourism, and also through higher learning institutes as well. Now, which planet goes into the ninth house being the second house lord is important. If Jupiter is going in, then surely it's educational institutes. If it's Saturn, then it's banking institutes through which you will make money through higher learning and through experience that you gather in the banking industry or finance industry or financial investment industry. If it's Moon, then it could be through arts. A lot of people make money by investing in art. So this is by paintings, keep it aside after 4, 5, 6 years, after some speculation, the value goes up, then they may sell. Some people make money by doing travels. So they make international travels and then they make money through the business connection through travel industry. So surely all of this is possible when the second house lord goes into the ninth house in your D10 chart. Now when the second house lord in the D10 chart is in the 10th house itself. Now what happens? Don't mistake the 10th house of your D10 chart with the 10th house of your D1 chart. The 10th house of your D1 chart is a general karma. Also can be connected to your career, connected to your designation at work, connected to your relationship with your superiors, authority figures, etc. The 10th house in your D10 chart is more related directly to career or profession or your public reputation connected to work. So your public reputation in your D1 chart's 10th house is general public reputation, which could also be connected to work. But here, the 10th house in your D10 chart is more connected to your work, to your profession, to your business, and through that, what kind of a reputation you're gaining, how people see you. So do people see you as a CEO, MD of a business? They see you as an investor. They see you as an employee. They see you as a high profile entrepreneur or maybe a high profile executive. That is the 10th house of your D10 chart. So when the second house lord goes into the 10th house of your D10 chart, this is where the money is coming in, connected to your reputation, connected to your work, connected to your profession, connected to your business. So here, the higher authority that you have at work, the more money you make. Because remember, the second house lord is the house of income, livelihood, money. So here the success could also come in through more authority. The better public reputation you have, the more money you get. So if you are high profile banking CEO, then you make more money. If you have a high profile government job, you make money. If you're a politician whose name and reputation is strong, you make more money. If you are a corporate leader, you make money. So there is some public service role involved through which you make more money. So a reputation connected to high ranking, authoritative leadership position is the placement of the second house lord in the 10th house. Now, which planet is the second lord going into the 10th house is important. If it's Jupiter, then you make more money through your reputation connected to your wisdom. So the more guru you are, like you're a Warren Buffett and you're advising people, then people want to invest in your company, Berkeley, whatever the Hathaway his company is. So people invest money more because of the competence, expertise you have as a guru. If it's Moon, then they look at you as somebody who is very innovative, artistic. Like you are a movie producer, you're a movie mogul, you're a magazine mogul who is very entrepreneurial, who's very creative, who's very innovative, then people want to be associated with you because your reputation is that of a creative person. If it's Mars, then people may see you as somebody who is a sports person, sports magnet, sports management organization, or investing in sports management companies also, or even corporate management. So the money can come in also related to which planet is the second house lord getting into the D10 chart. Now, when the second house lord in your D10 chart goes into the 11th house, now don't confuse the 11th house of your D1 chart with the 11th house of your D10 chart. The 11th house of your D1 chart is your general societal connections, your connections through your friends, your connection through the masses, how people generally know you, what friendships you have, what associations you have. But the 11th house in your D10 chart is your network connected to your profession, connected to your work, connected to your business, connected to your investments. Specifically, if the second house lord is going into the 11th house, then those gains coming in for you are through your network, because the second house is all about money, finances, investments, your livelihood. So if it goes into the 11th house, the more money you'll make is through a strong social network, is through a strong network connected to work, is through a strong network connected to your profession, is through a strong network connected to your career. So if you have good following in masses or work for a large organization, then the money will come in through that. If you're working for a small organization, the money will come, that may come in, will be less, even if you have a higher designation. The 11th house is about masses, strong network connection. The more you have friendship with people at work, the better your recognition will be, the better your growth prospects will also be. This is also about partnership. This is also about entrepreneurship. But here, the 7th house also has to be very, very strong for you to be indulging in partnership. And your 11th house and 7th house in your D10 chart is also very important. Now, which planet is the second house lord going into the 11th house is very important. If it's Venus, it's surely business connected to money, investments, finances, working with friends, but opposite gender. If it's say for example Mercury, then it could be business, but with a lot of investment, analytical role. Your data, money, information is very, very important to be able to make money. If it's Saturn, then it will grow slowly. Your social circle will make you money only if you know them for a long period of time. New connections, new social network, getting to know somebody over since a few months or a few years may not make you that much money. And you will have to be invested working in that profession for some time, investing time and attention for you to be able to make more money. Because 11th house is not getting associated with the second house lord going there, but through Saturn being the second house lord. Now, if the second house lord goes into the 12th house in your D10 chart. Now, don't confuse the 12th house of your D1 chart with the 12th house of your D10 chart. The 12th house of your D1 chart is more associated with waste, excess, charity, donation, foreign lands, working in isolation, staying in isolation, which may or may not be connected to your work, to your profession at all. But the 12th house of your D10 chart is specifically connected to where you are working, or your career is getting associated, or your business is getting associated with either charity, spirituality, donations, NGOs, foreign lands, working in armed forces, connected to work or profession rather than just working in isolation. A lot of people who go to foreign lands as a spouse but not doing anything can also be seen with the 12th house of your D1 chart. But here, the second house lord going into the 12th house of your D10 chart shows where the money is coming in foreign lands, where the money is coming in through working for NGOs or charity organizations. So you have to work for the money to come in. You can work for an NGO. You can also run a charitable organization where you get some fees you keep a small percentage as well. Or doing business in clinics, hospitals, or foreign lands. This is not about just going and staying there. This is where the money is coming in because you are related or attached to the 12th house through either foreign lands, spirituality, charity, donations, armed services. So either you're investing in that business, or you're putting some money, some stake in that business, or working in that profession. So some connection to your profession, career, business should be there of the second house lord to be in the 12th house to make money from these sources. Now, which planet is the second house lord and goes into the 12th house is very important. Say, for example, Mars is the second house lord, goes into the 12th house. Then you can surely make money more through armed services, armed forces, constabulary, in police services also, even being a sleuth or a spy, traveling across the world, or going into foreign lands, or even making money in real estate in foreign lands. So a lot of people who go abroad, work for financial corporations, work for banking organizations who are into home loans, investment, they can make money. People who are working in financial organizations connected to homes, house, real estate, land, can also make money. Or if you're invested in 2-3 houses when you have a lot of money abroad, you may be having a career or business somewhere else, but you have some extra money. So what do? You dump some money in some other real estate. When you're living in foreign lands, you make money through it, because the second house lord is going into the 12th house, and here Mars is getting connected. If instead of Mars, it is Sun, then here you need to take leadership also. So here you may be working somewhere, but if you have invested some money in some investment firm, then you should head it. or you should have a strong stake in it. You should have a strong authority figure in that also. If it's Venus, Venus is very well placed in the 12th house because it gets exalted in Pisces in the Kalpurush Kundli. But here the money is coming in from those things which are connected to the better living standards, higher lifestyle, living it up, expensive things, cars, clothes, those kinds of things where you're investing in a foreign company. In those kinds of brands, higher brands will make you money, getting connected to IT, getting connected to computers as well. So friends, now that we have seen how the second house lord's position in the different houses in the D10 chart will give you different results. Keep in mind where the placement of the second house lord is in the D1 chart also. And also, if you are thinking about working in a profession and then seeing whether the money is coming in or not, then the placement of which is your 10th house lord in your D1 chart, where it is placed, and whether it is establishing some relationship with the second house lord in the 10th house in any of the houses in the D10 chart is important. So friend, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me, the link given below. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.